it's Summer with Ace here, and I am finally back with another YouTube video. I'm sorry it has been such a long time since I've been here on YouTube, but the truth is my life has literally been flipped upside down with COVID and all these things going on, and I just lost some motivation to do my YouTube. However, I'm here for the long haul. This is first of many videos to come. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Summer, spelled S-A-M-M-A-R, Summer with Ace. I'm really excited to have you here on my channel. I'm 23 years old and I currently live in Nanaimo, British Columbia. The reason I'm doing this video for you guys today is because a little bit over a year ago, I moved to the West Coast from Ontario, Canada. I road tripped with my dog in my Mini Cooper by myself. I've been getting tons of messages and people asking me questions about what that journey was like, how I came to the decision, how much it cost me, all of the logistics. I know that there's a lot of people who probably dream about living on the West Coast. For me, I really took charge of that dream and I live on the West Coast. So I felt like this would be a good opportunity for me to do a YouTube video. So if any of you guys are thinking about moving to the West Coast, or maybe not even the West Coast, but making a big move in general, I think this video will be helpful for you. I know there's a lot of things that I wish I would have known before I moved, but even though I didn't know what I was doing, I figured it out and I live here now. Literally, I have no regrets about my decision to leave Ontario. Living on Vancouver Island is the most magical experience I've ever had. I don't think I'll ever go back. Like, yes, I'll go to visit family and stuff, but I'm telling you guys, like, the West Coast has its reputation for a reason. So leading up to this whole decision, I actually put myself in therapy back in November 2018. I was working a corporate job. I had a place to live. I thought that I had everything that I needed to be happy. Like all of these things in my head. I was like, oh, like by the time I'm 27, you know, you kind of have your life plan. And for me, my life plan was graduate college, get a good job, start making money, have my own place, and then that would be my life. I went to therapy and I realized that like I really didn't know who I was. Like I didn't know what actually made me happy. I kind of valued myself and I thought that I got validation from the world by doing things rather than just by being someone. And so I killed myself trying to like do all of these things all of the time because that's how I thought I was making myself happy, I guess. Like really they were all just distractions from the main problem, which was that I didn't know who I was and that I was just drowning myself in other things to subside my anxiety of being alone and not liking myself and not knowing that part of me, you know, if that makes any sense at all. One of my things my therapist told me was that when I knew what I needed to do, I would know. She told me to just like trust my gut and trust myself and really, really think about what I wanted in my life. And like obviously that wasn't a simple question because I didn't know what I wanted at that point. In September of 2019, I flew out to British Columbia for the very first time, took the ferry over to Nanaimo. I went whale watching, I went bungee jumping, I went surfing in Tofino. Literally was just shocked by the fact that people out here live that way. For me, it was like within the first 3 days of me being in Nanaimo, my heart was telling me like, this is it. This is what you're supposed to do. No word of a lie, I was sitting in the airport about to fly back to Ontario and I listed my apartment for rent. Next thing I knew, it was like a month and a half later, I was on a road trip. For anyone who's thinking about moving or considering, like, you will know in your gut. And like there will be things that challenge you. There were so many signs that were like, oh, maybe you shouldn't go. Like I got a job offer. There was financial struggles that really kind of made me feel like I wasn't going to be able to do it. I had a lot of people in my family who were telling me like, Summer, this is a really dumb idea. Like you're going to go to the West Coast, you're going to be broke as hell, and we're not going to be there to help you. But I didn't let those things hold me back because in my gut, I knew, I'm like, this is what I want. And if I want something, I will work hard to go get it and I will figure it out. And I don't know. It was like something really instinctual that was telling me that it was the right thing to do. And so I pretty much sold everything that I had. Like I had a fully furnished apartment. I got rid of everything. I sold my bed, I sold my dressers, I sold everything because I was gonna drive. I really had to minimalize my belongings. I didn't have a lot of room I was driving a Mini Cooper and I had my dog. So it was like I needed to really prioritize what I was going to bring with me. I took my straightener and my hair dryer and my favorite book and a few things like that. One of the main questions people ask me is, oh, did you have a job? Oh, did you have a house? Like, how did you figure all that out? And I was fortunate enough that my cousin Sarah offered to let me live with them until I found a spot. I was there for 3 weeks with my cousins Sarah and Dave. Thank you guys so much for letting me stay with you guys. Quite frankly, like that would have really made it harder for me because of my financial state going into it. I had planned on having a few $1,000s before I left for my road trip. However, there were many roadblocks. And again, like this is what I was referring to, that there was so many things that were like, no, you shouldn't go, and oh, you should postpone, and oh. It was like a month and a half that I wasn't working, getting ready to go. I had a few $1,000s set aside for this road trip. When I reassigned my lease, my landlords were complete jerks and were not working with me at all, even though I was in, like I did everything right. Like I didn't. Anyway, the point is $1,000 they kept from me instead of giving my last month's rent back, even though I had someone to fill the spot. But anyway, I don't want to get into it because I get kind of emotional. Don't let people take advantage of you. Yeah, calling you out, Windsor Terre Court Management. Middle fingers. Okay, so super funny story. I had given my phone to the guy that I was seeing before I left. I told him like it was a conditional thing. Like if we don't see each other anymore, you have to give me my phone or you have to pay me $350 because it was brand new. And then a giant rock came out of a freaking truck and smoked my windshield, and sure shit, I had to spend $300 on a new windshield. I went to go get my car an oil change, and then they were like, oh, Summer, you need new tires. So yeah, I had to spend like $800 on new tires. Thank you, Mom and Greg, for helping me with that because it was an unexpected expense. I was actually very keen on just driving through Canada and winging it and hoping for the best, but my parents were like, no, you can't. You need new tires. So by the time I left, I think I had $800 to my name. So I had like bought in some like Equate Walmart shakes because I didn't want to spend all my money on the way there. I knew I wasn't going to be able to afford hotel rooms. Like I like properly road tripped through Canada. I was broke, but I was not going to let that stop me. And so with my $800, my dog and I packed up the car and we drove. The first night I left Leamington, I got to Wawa, Ontario, which by the way, I slept in my car. Before I forget, one tip for you guys. If you're doing a road trip and you need to sleep in your car, I highly suggest parking your car in a place where everyone can see it, under a street light or something. I parked in a recreational complex parking lot right under a light so that people could see me. That way nobody could break into my car. Because let's be real, if you've been to Wawa, it's not particularly classy. The second night I drove all the way to Brandon, Manitoba. I have a family friend there. Sierra and Jeremy with their sweet daughter Maya let me stay the night. And they actually cooked for me too, which was so nice because I had been drinking like Walmart smoothies, protein shakes, and just drinking tons of Tim Hortons coffee and having muffins. So after Brandon, Manitoba, I drove to Banff where my mom actually got me a hotel room for Piper and I. That was pretty cool. We got to explore the village a little bit. But having a dog, it's a lot harder like to do road trips while also stopping. So I knew I needed to get there because I had a dog. Like it's not practical to have a dog in your car all day long. The poor girl didn't poop for like 4 days. Border Collies are very territorial. They have like spots in the lawn where they will usually consistently go to the bathroom. She's like looking at me like, Mom, I need to poop so bad. But I don't even know where I am anymore. So I was like obviously rushing to get there. Not to mention, I'm paying for gas this whole way. And Mini Cooper was standard, so it wasn't bad on gas at all. I only have $800 and oh shoot, it's Thursday and next Friday I have all of my payments due. My car payment, my car insurance, and my phone bill were all due that next Friday. By the time I had got into Banff, I think I maybe had $250. The next morning, I road tripped to Mission, BC. Piper and I actually stayed with my dear friend Carolyn and her husband Andy. I actually bought my dog Piper off of her, so they let us stay the night, and we had a really nice time. By the time I got to Nanaimo, I had $184 in my bank account. And then it was like, I need food to eat. By the time I got groceries, I was like down to like $140 and all these bills coming up in like 5 days. So I knew I needed to get a job. I went on Indeed and I found this place called Piper's Pub, and sure shit, I was like, I was like, how funny would it be if I worked at a place called Piper's and my dog's name is Piper? I found the email of the guy who owned it and I messaged him directly. And so that Monday I went in for an interview and I started work on Tuesday. I worked every single day, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And in those 3 days, I made like $800 cash and was able to pay all of my bills with like no problem. Like I was like, guys, I was sweating. I thought I was gonna have to call my insurance company and be like, hi, like, I'm sorry, I just road tripped across Canada and I have no money and can you please just cut me some slack for the month? Like, I'll take my car off the road. But like, luckily, I just like fat stacks of cash from all the tip money I was making. People are like, take my money, take my... 3 weeks later, I had made like a really good chunk of money and I had enough for a first and last month's deposit on a place to live. I moved in with a really nice woman in a 2-bedroom suite. It was on a horse farm with a really nice fenced in backyard. It was perfect. It was furnished as well. Like she had a bed and everything for me. So it was perfect for a girl who just came across the country in a Mini Cooper and had nothing. $850 a month. So for anyone who's thinking like, oh, I hear it's really expensive, and like there are parts that are really expensive. You can go down to Victoria or Vancouver and you're gonna pay a crap load of money. Nanaimo is a harbor city. Like you can hop in 15 minutes, you can hop on a ferry to get to Vancouver. In an hour and 45 minutes, you can be in Victoria. 2.5 hours, you can be in Tofino. So it's kind of crazy how it all worked out because I had no money. I believe the exact amount of money that I had was $184. If I can make it here with $184 in my bank account, you can make it here with, I don't know, more than $184 in your bank account. So since then, COVID happened and I had just moved into a new place. I started seeing this guy and we ended up quarantining together and then we ended up moving in together because everything really happened fast when you quarantine for like a month and a couple weeks. I worked at Piper's Pub until the beginning of August, I believe. And then my boyfriend Graham and I moved up to Tofino, lived that summer Tofino life for a little while. I was serving up there as well. And then came back down to Nanaimo and I'm working at a different restaurant now. I moved to the West Coast and I had no idea what I was gonna do. For me, it was like going into serving, which I had done in college. I had other serving jobs before, so I had lots of experience. So it was really easy to get a serving job. That actually really helped me to meet so many new people. I made some like genuine lifelong friends. If you have serving experience, I highly, highly, highly suggest getting into the serving industry. Most of my friends that I have now are because of that job. And the truth of the matter is, I am making more money serving than I ever did in my entire life. Serving full time, I get it. I finally understand why people do this their entire lives. It's because I was making like $800 cash every week on top of my wage. I think one of the biggest things for me is like realizing that I needed to take a step back to actually spend time doing the things that I really enjoyed. I go snowboarding now. I go surfing now. Like, this is my life. Like, these people that you see on TV that are like, yeah, I'm going for a surf on Sunday. And you're like, I'm going to a bar on Sunday because, like, what else is there to do? That's the kind of life you can have. Whether you're into skiing in the Alpines or you want to live in a really fast-paced city. Like, if that's something that you want, that's something that you can do. I don't know. I just feel like we always make excuses like, oh, I have this job that I really like. I feel like I can't leave it. Or I have financial commitments. Like, I don't know if I can make, like, the commitments. Make your decisions and figure out the logistics later. Anyone who's listening to this is probably like, that's probably not the best advice. But I mean, look at me. I'm here. I'm happy. I finally feel like I can, like, breathe and smell the roses. I spend more of my time doing things that I enjoy and less time just with my head down trying to work and get so many things done. And you know what one of the best things is all of the people telling me that I wouldn't be able to do it. And then I did it. And here we are, I'm living the dream. Moving to the West Coast was my version of taking charge of my life. If for you it's like moving to Ireland, or if it's a job that you want, like, you are not gonna go get that job unless you go get that job. Make your decisions decisively for yourself. Oh, that's the main thing. Is it was the first time in my life I made a decision without thinking about anybody else. Another thing I wanted to mention is that when I had originally moved here, my plan was to go live in Tofino or live in Victoria or some like more popular city. I realized very quickly that it was much more affordable for me not to jump into moving places like that. You can get a 1-bedroom apartment or suite for like $1,300, which I was paying like $9.79 for a teeny tiny bachelor apartment in Windsor, Ontario. Facebook Marketplace is a huge resource for anyone looking to find a place. There's tons of places even now that you can get a room for like $500 or $600, $700. Another thing that you should be prepared for is the price of vehicle things. My car insurance is like over $300. I was paying like $180 in Ontario. You'll want to get a full abstract of all of your stuff, or like a driver's license history, so that you can prove that you had your other license. I had my full license coming here, but they were like, it only shows that you've had your full license for 2 years. So technically we can only give you credit for 2 years of driving. I was like, girl, I had like a bunch of years on a G1 and then a bunch of years on a G2. And now you're telling me that you're not going to give me the credit for all those years I've been driving since I was 16 years old. Trying to deal with Transport Canada is a nightmare, so I suggest if you can do that before you come. That's one of my little tips and tricks. Most people on the West Coast are very friendly and want you to be successful if you've made the trip. It's much more slow paced here than it was in Ontario. If you're thinking about moving to the West Coast, let me know. I would love to hear about your journey. I'm also a resource for you. If you're looking to move to a certain place and I can help you with that, I'm happy to help. Anyway, I think that concludes everything that I wanted to share with you guys. If you have any questions, definitely put them down below and I will answer them for you. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, like it, and then you can subscribe to my channel as well if you like my channel and you want to see more of me. Thanks for watching. Bye!